Game number 3, it was death bound maybe, that we lose one game against Dark BR. I'm gonna keep it. We have foil vultures. Is it foiled? Yeah, it's foiled. But yeah, Dark BR, who disconnected. Dark K. Guess I'm gonna see you when he comes back. Okay, so I guess he's back. I'm not entirely sure, but we're gonna see. Okay, so since we have the vultures, I think I'm gonna play towards that. Yeah, okay, he's back. Only problem is that he has a little bit less time to play, but it's not Stall we play against, so he should be fine. So that's Corruption Control, the most boring deck, I gotta say. Boring to the max. I fucking hate. Nah, you know, the thing is, every time Masters comes around and Fuzz commentates, every time he, like, every time that he goes for the, or there's Corruption Control being played, it's so boring because it's, I don't know, it's just so aggravating to watch. But hey, we're gonna make the best of it, right? So we're good in milling. I have a little bit of stuff, at least 2 creatures, so 2/2 could be a little bit better, Deathbound Incarnate, but we're getting there. We also have the Rage aspect going for us, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. We're in a kind of a good position. And I can actually get out the Deathbound Incarnate, but I think he has like a little bit of removal, and as a 2/2, it gets removed really easy, I would say, so I'm not gonna do that yet. Let's go for a flash. Alright, let's see. Got another flash. Hit a Noxious. Other than that, I think it's pretty okay. Yeah, we don't need the second Sanctum anymore, so no biggie there. Would kind of like to get Tombs now. Not Tombs. Heads from Beyond, rather. Let's get rid of this. Get the Thought Devourer out. And probably get it consumed or something. Consumed or obnoxious. Fumes. Or sanctumed. That's what I mean, it's just boring as all hell. But I mean, I can do pretty much the exact same. I don't have to Noxious now, I can actually... I mean, I don't have to Sanctum. Just gonna Noxious. Sadly, that doesn't give me creatures in the graveyard, obviously, so Deathbound card is still a 3/3. Can get removed by Consume, so I'm gonna go for him first. Let's get Plague Vermin out, why not? One more mana and Sexibus. Could hit the field. Probably will. Pretty much required play. Even though I could get rid of her, actually. Get a sec. Yes, Sexibus, nice. Sweet. Because I can get beats in with the Thought Devourer now. No problem. So, what do we draw? Another Shrine. Not too good, but not too bad either. Let's see. Yeah, this one is supposed to go in, this one stays in the back. Alright. Perfect. Thought Devourer doesn't survive, but at least we got that dealt with, and I have another creature in there. Still consume range, so no. Mono Corruption Control is so boring. Don't you agree? I know it's not that I'm salty or anything, I mean, but it's I don't know. It's always the same. For me, at least. It feels like it. Okay, that is nice. That helps out by a tremendous amount, actually. Can I get... I can get every single one out. Which I think I'm gonna do. Because I want to get rid of this. And I definitely need one left for Soul Prison. Because if he's gonna Sanctum, I think... Nah, this one would be in consume range, this one isn't. Let's hope I made the right decision. I mean, we have more of them in there. There's more where that came from, basically. Did he go? Of course he did go up one aspect. 8 damage and fucking 3 Curse of Russias. Got an Azaris that we can play. Hands from Beyond, but nothing we can do here, so let's resign. Cause Dark BR. Down, at least we are still 9 points ahead, however, with 1069. Maybe I shouldn't play anymore, because 69 is basically the best one we can get, but since that was premeditated, basically, I would say we make another one. Let's see how it goes in game number 4. That one was rather fast. Yeah, of course I'm gonna keep that. Weedman 420, definitely saw this guy before. Yeah, that's a fucking draw again. Why would you ever even consider keeping that? That's almost equally as bad, but kind of manageable. So basic Darius could be a reanimator list. Could also be energy. Seems that way. But we're gonna see what we're in for. A charged alright usually means like some energy-based shenanigans. Let's see if I'm right or not. What I'm definitely gonna do, however, is get the Thought Devourer out. Double Wisdom. So, yeah, probably Mono Wisdom energy, exactly. He didn't transfer the energy to the automaton? Okay. Beautiful thing is that I can actually attack with him next turn as well, because I have hero ability ready. If he attacks with 1, probably him, he's gonna keep him, or leave him up to block. I can just slow him down to 1 HP, or 1 speed I should say. And then I can ramp in for beats. Or for milling, rather. Or he attacks with the automaton. Okay. That could also be a thing. Oh yeah, I can hero ability and Flashed of Delirium, which is gonna buff up my Deathbound Incarnate a little bit. And maybe also get something in the graveyard for us. Nightbringer is also pretty neato, as well as Infernal Vultures. But okay, let's get this guy a little bit more beefy. So I'm gonna slow him down. I might actually go Vultures. Now I'm gonna Flash first, because I can get some creatures back then, right away with Vulture. I mean, we have Reanimate. That's also a thing. And if we hit, like, many creatures of his, then we can get a nice Deathbound Incarnate out next turn. And apparently, maybe he has, like, Flash Freeze or something? Maybe. Freeze package is a little bit of a problem. Let's use flash. Oh, Magi Expedition, eh? And Steel Sentience and Library Guards Rune Lit Incarnate? What? Why does he have these two in there? That's kind of weird. That doesn't make too much sense. And we can get ourselves an Azaris. We can even get a trigger. If he attacks with both and doesn't have another blocker left, that is. But then I can just attack with this guy. We'll see. We'll see what he brings to the table now. Another charge, alright. It's kinda alright. He might have flash freeze. I just have to keep that into consideration because, you know, blocking. Maybe I leave the the Devourer in the back line to block one of these. But then, like, you know, as I said, you know, he might have flash freeze, so he can kill this off easily, which would kind of suck a little bit. So he's gonna block Azaris if I play her with the alright, probably. But I have to take into consideration that he might have a Magi Expedition in hand, and that is gonna go in for 8 beats with 4 speed. He could easily do that with the alrights. So I have to be careful not to take too many beats. Could swing in for 12 damage actually with the Automaton as well. So yeah, that is getting a little bit scary here. Sweet. Real sweet. Another vulture. I could go for Death. Let's go for Deathbound. It's a 6/6. That's kind of okay. This is probably gonna get blocked, but that means less energy for whatever he tries to put down. That Noxious was a blessing. For sure. Maybe I even should have used it on one of the alrights. So is he gonna take the risk? I'm just... How much is Magi Expedition? It's 4 aspects. Never mind, that is gonna take a while until you can actually put that on the field. For some reason I thought it was like less. But yeah, 4/4. So we might actually be in a pretty good position here. I can go... Yeah, I can reanimate Azaris and get 2 triggers next turn with the Devourer and with the Deathbound Incarnate. If he doesn't block now, they mill for 12 damage, or 12 cards. A little bit more if he manages to hit a couple of creatures now. Then the Deathbound Incarnate is obviously gonna rise. And he's not gonna block? With the Stall effect. Okay. Perfect. Two as there. No, we didn't hit any creature there. Really? Let's assume he only has 2 Thaumic Laboratories, so that is out of the question now. Keeps both. Okay. Azaris. Vultures. Whoop. Beats. Don't get an Azaris trigger, but I'm good with that. Doesn't block again. That is milling for a tremendous amount, dude. 13 cards left. I think he kind of gave up now. Kind of feels that way, doesn't it? Okay, let's mill him. Yup. Kill that. And, end of the game. 16-16 Deathbound Incarnate. It's kind of funny. Mill that shit! And that's it. That's how you successfully eliminate a deck. Or deplete a deck, I should say. So, milling! Still not a thing of the past. Still go strong. Got a little bit of a dent. By the way, I gotta say, before I actually, like, fell in love with Azaris, that deck, since it's called Deathbound Milling, was centered around Deathbound Incarnate, and I don't think it actually ran Azaris. By the way, as I've stated, it's a deck I made myself, so I think the original deck that didn't have Azaris, but after I discovered my love for Azaris, I was like, you know, a milling deck, it's basically just like, what kind of if you run Rage, maybe with the exception of maybe Shamans, but if you run Rage, you run Fireball, you know, it's just, or for me, if I make a Dominion deck, if any of my decks like run Dominion, it has to run Cataclysm, at least for me. And that's the same essentially, I would say, with milling. If you run milling, you just have to run Azaris, because it's a no-brainer. It's just an awesome card. Of course, it's a little bit less effective as it used to be. It's not as effective as it used to be. No. As you saw with the Vulture play, I forgot that I actually had 0 mana, and I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna play this. I mean, it still mills cards, but it didn't get the Azaris trigger, obviously. It would have been 3 triggers in 1 turn, actually, which is a little bit ridiculous, but... yeah, overall, you know, if you run milling, you just run Azaris, because it's just an awesome card, and it's still just as viable as it used to be, I would say, because it still mills cards, and so it still does its job. I mean, it mills 4 cards in 1 turn. I mean, that's pretty awesome in itself. But yeah, that was it for this episode of Spellweaver Ranked. We actually managed to win 3 games, only lost 1 against Dark BR, but that was Dark BS, because fucking Corruption Control. By the way, I think there's a patch coming soon, and I think 12 new cards, and by the way, I saw 12 new cards are gonna hit the field, and they also revealed the first card, and it's gonna be a legendary vampire. That means vampires are the master race in Spellweaver, because they have Lord Karthus, vampire, legendary, Prinha, vampire, legendary, and then the new card, which I forgot its name, but that's also a legendary vampire. So, you know, just want to say, vampires definitely top notch right here. What vampires need, however, because vampires are kind of bad at the moment, they're kind of shitty, in fact, if you just make a themed deck based deck around vampires. We need early game drops, because we only have the Bloodseeking Mutant is not really early game, and the Bloodborne Prince is just shit. So definitely give us vampire-wise. I'm glad about the new vampire, the new legendary vampire, in fact, but we need early drops for vampires. We definitely need that. We have Shadowstep Assassin and stuff like that, and Phasean Mercenary, but we need like more vampire based, so we can actually like make a whole vampire list, just like with the Goblin Rush, you know, essentially. And of course with the Soldier archetype as well. But yeah, as I said, that was it for Deathbound Milling. Maybe I'm gonna rename that just Milling. Maybe it's gonna be like the or maybe it's just gonna be like Deathbound Azaris Milling or something like that. Not really sure, but yeah, essentially the power of milling still goes strong. Haven't encountered it in quite a while, ever since the Azaris changed, by the way. I never ran really into snacks, and we ran into milling today with essentially almost the same deck, but as you saw, Azaris prevailed, so yeah, definitely still have to have that in the deck, and Hands from Beyond as well. So I think I'm gonna go back to this deck pretty soon again, because that was pretty good, and it seems to be pretty viable in the current meta at least. So Thanks, of course, for joining for this little adventure. The 3-1 Deathbound milling deck still goes strong, which is definitely a good sign. We kinda made damage control for the Soldiers of Young's deck. That is never gonna see the light of day, that recording. So we are now ranked 263 with a rating of 1085. I think that's a good way to leave this out. Plus 25 points, essentially, because we were 2060 the last time I ended the recording. So yeah, thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next Spellweaver related video.